Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. Sorry I'm coming a little late. It is due to the fact that I've been tired because of the noise a church in my neighborhood created. And I'm going to talk about it a little later. Beniak, how are you doing? So, guys, how is everyone doing? Um, Single mothers. Did I say single women? Marrying a single mother is what I meant. Marrying a single mother or a woman with kids. Marrying a single mother. Please correct that. Let me post it. I can't correct the narrative. I said single woman. Okay, maybe I should shut down the live on Instagram and come right back so people can get the topic. Okay, we're gonna have an interesting discussion. I'm gonna shut it down on Instagram so people can see the topic and understand what we're talking about. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna come right back immediately. So bear with me, guys. Okay. All right. Okay. So the topic is marrying a single mother or a woman with kids. Marrying a single woman or a single mother or a woman with kids. So, okay, we're back now. Topic has been adjusted. Okay, good one. So we could start having the conversation. Now, if you follow me in Christendom, there's always, I say this as a Christian, in Christendom, there's always a dilemma. And that is the dilemma of what's right and what's wrong, and what the government accepts as right and wrong. It's a huge dilemma. I'll give you an example. If you joined our service yesterday, I taught us about worshiping the devil and how we got there, and I did a bit of philosophical teachings. I thought about Aristotle and David Hume. According to Aristotle, there's one good, while David Hume believes that good and bad all depends on perception. And by my understanding, perception is created by social consensus. When the world agrees that something is bad, it becomes bad. When the world agrees that something is good, it becomes good. Here's now a problem, a dilemma. Here's now a problem, and I'm going to address all of these things. When I'll give you an example. When I was studying Old Testament, I studied the Old Testament under the tutelage of Jewish rabbis, because for you to study the Old Testament, you have to understand the rabbinic uh, Old Testament, the proper translation of the Aramaic and Hebrew scriptures. You have to understand there's so much work you have to do, because the worst thing you can do to yourself is try to understand the old Jewish culture through the eyes of a British author. You will get it messed up. So you have to go through the rabbinic because they wrote the book. They did not write it for the British audience. Let me tell you, the Old Testament was meant for the Jews and the Jews alone. The law of Moses was written for the Jews. So not only did they not have you in mind when they were writing it, they did not even believe it is meant for you. It was meant for them. It was only when Christ came that God now extended his love from the Jews to the rest of the world. Before, he was a God of the Jews. The Jews were his special people and he was their God. That was what the Old Testament was. So you now want to read a book written for the Jews, by the Jews, but now with a British narrator that is trying to understand it according to the perception of his society. You will read nonsense. You will read nonsense. I'll give you an example one day. I was having a discussion with a Christian and he said, Allah is not God. And I laughed. And I asked the Christian, I said, brother, what language did Christ speak while he was on earth? And he said, Aramaic. And I said, what is God in Aramaic? Do you know what God is in Aramaic? Allah. That is God in Aramaic. If you doubt me, go and watch Passions of the Christ. They acted the Passions of the Christ in Aramaic because that was the language Christ spoke. So where I'm going somewhere with this. So for me to understand what the Old Testament said, I had to understudy these people. They had to answer my questions. And according to many rabbis, I would say in total, I work with about 5 or 6 rabbis, about 5 or 6. 3 of them agreed that Mary was 12 years old and Joseph was above 70. One particular one suggested he was in his 90s. Mary, that narrative of young Mary and young Joseph, see, that narrative is not scriptural. That Joseph was an older man and Mary was a 12-year-old girl. And it was normal in society up until very recently. In Nigeria, 2 generations ago, it was normal to marry a 12-year-old girl. It was absolutely normal, nothing wrong with it in any way or form. As a matter of fact, some places in Nigeria still have the minimum marriage age as 11. I'm saying up to 2 generations ago, my father's generation, not the last generation, my father's generation, they were marrying 12-year-olds. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. But according to the Hebrew Bible, man and man or woman and woman na stoning. So we are left with a dilemma. We are now in 2023, where man and man, that used to be a stonable offense during biblical time, and marrying a 12-year-old girl that used to be normal during biblical time, have now switched roles. Today, a man can marry a man and can marry a man inside the church. You marry a 12-year-old in any civilized part of the world, you go to jail. Good old-fashioned jail. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense to you. So you marry a man today. Those days you try it, you go chop stone. These days you do it, it's normal. You marry a 12-year-old those days, it's absolutely normal. All your friends, even your friends in their 70s, have 12-year-old new wives. That was the society. You tried a 70-year-old man marries a 12-year-old today, you will not hear the last of it. So what am I saying is, what I'm saying is perception of good and bad is determined by social constructs and social consensus. And when you read scriptures like Romans chapter 13, verse 1, that says, everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for all authority comes from God, and those in possession of authority have been placed there by God. So if Paul is telling us that everyone is, every authority is from God and we must submit. Hey, John Knight, will just give me 5 minutes, let me elaborate and then bring you on. So if everyone, authority is from God, blah, 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 and the authority says man can marry man, and the authority says you cannot marry a 12-year-old, then we have a problem, because the Bible says otherwise about these things. So we have now come in a conflict of ideology where the Bible gives a rule, but the Bible gives another rule concerning that rule. Submit to government authorities. And the government authority says, you can. Let me tell you how bad the government authority says. The government authority says they will close down churches that refuse to marry same. I was having that conversation with someone. Say, you know what? That they're struggling right now in the UK and the US because the government is literally telling churches that, look, if you're not ready to marry same, that will collect, you will not allow you to marry anybody. So some pastors, so as not to lose their license, are beginning to consider, okay, we can now start marrying man and man and woman. So where am I going with this? I want us to flee from hypocrisy, because hypocrisy creates a kind of monster that is worse than what religion speaks of. I'll give you an example. I live here in Lekki. I live in a nice part of Lekki. Not the nicest part of Lekki, but a quite nice part of Lekki. There's a church down the road from my house. I was having a conversation with Pastor Toby Adegboyega, and I said to him, because I was really upset, and earlier on in the evening I tried to rest. At 9:30 the church decided to close. First of all, they were making noise throughout their service, and I found it irritating, but the level of irritation was not so high. It was when they closed church, the closed service, and started driving home for 1 hour on the road from about 9:15 till about 9:45, for about 30 minutes or more. There was the blaring of horns, brr, brr, in a residential neighborhood. The people going home were like primates in the primate section of a zoological garden. I'm like, what? Let me play the audio for you. I want you to. This is not an imbecile reunion. This is not a coagulation of buffoons. This is actually a church closing service on a Monday evening, not a Sunday, a Monday evening by 9:30 p.m. when people are supposed to be sleeping. Listen to the noise of the people. Forget the sirens. The sirens came later. So listen to this. Can you hear
Should not be madness be this.
Can you hear them? This is not the service. This is people leaving the service. Listen again. Kẹgbọ́n àwọn ìnàkí. Listen again.
Should not be madness with this. Or your church for residential area at 9.
Now the siren started.
Sleep. Sure you hear the noise. Sure
You can hear the horn,
9:30
the siren,
p.m.
and the people shouting.
Area.
Listen.
Sure now they hear noise.
Do you know? You know Nigerians, when you're going, Nigerians, do you know you cannot horn? You cannot blare your horns in any civilized country. You can't do it in Canada. You can't do it in UK. You can't do it in the US. One guy said he drove for 2 years. He did not press horn in the UK. He drove for 2 years. He did not press horn. Now we have people who are walking on the street. That's noise on its own. Then the pastor is leaving the church. Whoa, whoa, siren. And I sat down and I thought about it. These people are going to go to church and are going to tell them not to fornicate. Or whatever that means, because what King James translated as fornication is utter nonsense. They're going to tell them not to fornicate. But they're not going to tell them that loving your neighbor as yourself is the most important of all the laws. How can you, a human being, be walking past people's residences because you decided to go and worship your devil on a Monday evening? Because that's not God you're worshiping. That's a one small devil, one small local devil. It's not even a proper devil. You are now shouting, blaring horns, and then to cap it all, you are blowing siren. The pastor is stuck. Is the siren go? You are stuck inside the traffic your church created. And I told Toby Adegboyega, I said, Pastor Toby, do you remember when you had to sell your McLaren? Because I went to London in June. In August, Pastor Toby had a McLaren. I went in November. Where is the McLaren? He had to sell it and he bought a Rolls Royce. Okay, why did you buy a Rolls Royce? And because the Rolls Royce is quiet. So, imagine driving a McLaren in a residential area where he lives. Where he lives is so serene, it's like a resort area. As in, you'll be seeing dukes and duchesses riding horse. So he said, come in. Have you heard the sound of McLaren? Brrr. Then you're now coming with the McLaren. Brrr. Just normal. You will wake your whole neighbors up. So, someone said, I've driven in the UK for 5 years without pressing the horn. So, because of his neighbors, so that he will not disturb his neighbors, he had to sell a car that was literally brand new. That's why I now took him to the Ferrari shop. There's a video on my page. Go and look at it. I said, Daddy Free is buying PT a Ferrari. I get money to buy person Ferrari. I took him there and showed him the Ferrari. He just bought the Ferrari now. Is the can you imagine? Somebody said it was Peter Obi's cars leaving church. That Peter Obi came to the church. That's what caused that. This is the new Nigeria we are talking about. Anyway, I'm even more pissed off now, but I'm just going to let that slide. Somebody just sent me that message. So I took, go and watch the video on my page that he frees buying Pastor Toby a Ferrari. If you go to my page, you'll see it. And why did I choose that particular Ferrari for PT? Because the Ferrari has a hybrid mode. So when he's approaching the estate, he now switches it to hybrid. So the engine goes off and he drives it home like a Tesla without making a sound. It's even more quiet than a Mercedes. It's more quiet than even, they said Peter will be leaving a lot. Peter will be leaving church. He went to church and he was coming from church. That's what they said. I'm not going to get into this because I'm pissed. I want to show you the video of me in the Ferrari shop. That's why we went to choose that particular Ferrari. This is the Ferrari. This is the one they had in the Ferrari shop. This is the new 296 GTB. This is the one they had in the Ferrari shop, but this is the one we used to choose the car. If you look at it, you just go to my Instagram page and scroll down a little. You see Daddy Free is buying PT a Ferrari. This is it right here. This is the video. This is one of the other ones we tested that day. This is one of the ones we tested that day in the Ferrari shop. You can hear the sound. That's us testing it. So finally, they delivered the car, I think on Saturday. They delivered it to Pastor Toby on Friday or Saturday. So here's the car. And why? This is he didn't want to buy a sports car. Finally, he agreed because the car can be turned, the engine can be turned off and you can drive it like an electric car around his neighborhood so it will not wake up the neighbors. Okay, somebody said it's not Peter Obi. Okay, whoever it is, that person is crazy. Let me just not talk. So you can now see that's the Ferrari. Finally got it. So if somebody can be considerate enough to think of his neighbors in the UK, you have to think of your neighbors. Why can't a church in Nigeria think of its neighbors? Because we are not taught to. Your neighbor, we are like a city of Cains. We don't care about Abel. Where is what happened to your brother? I say, am I my brother's keeper? That's the typical Nigerian. The average Nigerian is like Cain. He is not his brother's keeper. Someone said Peter Obi stopped the use of siren during his 8 years as a governor. Wow, he used siren. Thank you very much. Then that means it's not Peter Obi. That means the person who sent me the message must have been mistaken. That it's not Peter Obi. Thank God, because if this was Peter Obi, because I've been mad all evening, I couldn't sleep, I've been angry, so I'm glad it's not Peter Obi, so I'll not be, because that one, if you make me change mind, no votes. They change waiting and one vote. I don't go tell you now waiting and one vote. But that kind of thing, if you make me change mind. So, back to where we are. A friend now asked me a question. I'm still going somewhere. I'm still going somewhere with this. So let's forget about whether it was Peter Obi. They said it's not Peter Obi, so let's just leave it. It's not Peter, but at least it's the church. We cannot rule out the fact that it is a church. So let's go back to our topic. But this time, a guy, I needed to say all these things so we can all understand perceptions. So a guy sent me a message. I wanted to play his audio. I'll just play I'll just play a bit of it
Okay,
because he
today I can
didn't give
say.
me permission to use his audio. So I'll just play a bit of it.
My brother, how you doing?
So you can hear that there's someone actually said this, but he just asked. So I said, can I use this audio? And he has not responded. So I want to respect that. He said, is it possible for a guy and a girl who are not married to have a child? That if a guy of a certain age meets a girl, doesn't want to get married to her, but they just want to have a child together, and then they raise the child together, is it a bad thing? And I thought about it. And here are my thoughts. You see, the time frame when the Bible was written is totally different from our time frame now. The world is so far away from what it was when the Bible was written that it's alarming. And it is both good and bad. During the biblical times, there were crucifixions. They're not pleasant sights. We don't have that anymore. We have evolution in society and also evolution in perception of good and bad. A lot of people would say, oh, that's fornication. Let me break something down to you. In the Bible, the best time for a girl to get married was when she was 12. Because by 12, she would have learned as much as possible about her mother's business, which is probably picking cotton or herding sheep or selling in the marketplace. There weren't skills that you particularly needed to have, like an education or something like that. So during the biblical time, the right age for a girl to marry was probably between when she was 12 and when she was 18. By the time she don't reach that 18, she don't be old. Just do your findings. Talk to your and that also is her ripe childbearing age. A woman biologically should have her kids between 18 and about 22. Biologically, that's the perfect time. But at 18, you are just getting into university, and your parents are going to sacrifice to send you to that university. Even if it's a local Nigerian university, it is not cheap. So you're going to do your university. When you're done with your university, let's say you get into university at 18, which is the average age of getting to the university. You spend 4 years if you are in a private university, and maybe 5 or 6 if you are in a public university. So you get there at 18 and you finish university at about 24. Then NYSC 1 year, you have to work. You're not going to come out of NYSC and go and marry. And you're not going to marry before NYSC. So you're going to have to work. You're going to have to do NYSC. You're probably going to have to do a master's degree or something. So the average marriage age, the proper marriage age for a woman, in my opinion, none of my daughters is going to come to me unless they have achieved something in their life. And let me warn you, achieving does not mean you have money. You are not mentally ready for the rigors of raising a family in 2023 until you are at least 30. Until you are at least 30. I cannot but tell you this as a fact. You are not ready to face the rigors of being married to a man. For a guy, you need to be at least 32. 30 is okay. 32 is prime. Now the problem also is, because if you marry at 32, the tendency for you to be more mature is there. I'll give you an example. I married the first marriage My first marriage was when I was 24 years old, 24 going on 25. I got married in 2002. No, 25, because I turned 26 in 2002, because I was born in 1976. So, sorry, 2002 is when I got married. I beg your pardon. So 2002 minus 1976. So I was 26 in May, but I got married in February. So I was 25 years plus. I was not yet 26 years old. My ex was 3 years younger than me, so she was 22. Forget anything anybody wants to say. We were both immature. She was as immature as I was, whether she wants to tell you anything. Because you see, she was more mature in certain areas, and I was more mature in certain areas, and she was also immature in certain areas. My job required me to meet a lot of women, and it's not all of the women that I had relationships with, but she had issues with all of them. She believed that I had something to do with all. It was immaturity, and we were both immature, and things escalated very fast. And by the time we had spent 5 years together, I'm sure we both knew that the marriage was not going anywhere, but we're still stuck in the marriage for the Nigerian reason. And the Nigerian reason is, once you are married, you must stay married. I remember when we celebrated our 10-year anniversary. It was with Pastor, may his soul rest in peace. He passed away during COVID. We're on the stage together. He passed away of COVID, actually, during COVID. We're on the stage together, and he gave me the mic. And I said, after 10 years, it's not love again, because there was no love. I wish I would have a recording of that. He now said, no, it has to be love. Oh. I laughed. I said, what we are doing here, love is not there. We're doing whatever we're doing for the kids, for the society, for everything we're doing, but there is no love. I don't love this woman, and I know it, and she does not love me, and she knows it. We were burnt out. I started dating Taste Buds in 2014 officially. I'd known her before then, but we didn't have a relationship. Forget what anybody else is saying and all those idiots that are trying to look for how to justify their own foolishness. So in 2014, if you remove 2014 minus 1976, I was 38 years old. Me as a 38-year-old man, and me as a 25-year-old boy, the difference was clear. Taste Buds is just 2 years younger than me. She's 36, or she was 36 then. The battle me and Taste Buds went through, excuse me, with the exes, the court cases, everything, we will not have survived 6 months if we were in our 20s. It took the grace of God to actually work out a relationship. Now, here's the thing. If it took me till by the time I was 35, I think I was mature enough for marriage. But guess what? What am I going to be doing between 18, when I become sexually active, and 35? That is a cool 17 years. Am I going to stay celibate? Of course not. Your parents did not stay celibate. Now you go on day celibate. Why would they like to lie, give ourselves? Of course not. You that you are typing this thing, you are not celibate. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So am I going to sit down here and tell you to be celibate? Oh yeah, John. I'm bringing John now. Sorry, 1 minute. So what am I trying to say is, people are going to engage in intercourse. A woman's body, a woman might be mature for marriage at 31, but she has way past her childbearing age. What if she doesn't see a husband? Is there anything wrong with her having a child? So let's imagine this woman has a child at 31, and then the child is 4 years old when she's turning 35, and then she now sees a husband or a potential husband material. Would you not marry such a woman? I am a divorcee. Taste Buds is a divorcee. I looked beyond all that. I found a woman who understands my craziness, my calling, the load that I carried from birth to deal with Nigerians and their madness. I'm bringing John live. I've kept him for too long. So here are my thoughts. A woman's prime childbearing age no longer coincide with her marriageable age. So we're gonna have a lot of, I don't bring you on so that at least you go, they see me, you go, no, say, nobody say I don't want to bring you, but make you just day. So, and it could make you even put mouth. A woman's childbearing age, a woman's marriageable age, with the maturity and education, everything needed, are no longer in the same bracket. And here's the problem. Many women who get married in their 20s, by the time they're in their 30s, they are divorced. And they are divorced with children, or at least one child. Some that did not marry in their 20s are ripe for marriage in their 30s. Maybe they had a child. So we're going to have, if you see this year, if it's bad, trust me, in 10 years, it's going to get even worse. So the world is going to be filled with many single women with kids or divorcees with kids in their 30s looking for husbands. Women whom the world has trained and shown that, look, oh, this is how to be with a man, because they might not have had the maturity in their 20s, but definitely by the time they're in their 30s and they're ready to settle down, they see a good guy like this kind, fine guy like John with good job, nice everything. They are ready to settle down and ready to be wives, ready to take our BS, because trust me, we men, we carry a lot of BS baggage around. So my take is, if I came to the world again this time and I had the opportunity to live my life again, I will not marry at that 25. I will wait till I'm 35. And I trust me, a woman who is not married by 35 or has a child by 35 must have some issues somewhere. So the women I will be looking for are either single moms or divorcees around my age grade. Maybe 1-2 years older, 1-2 years younger. That's my age grade. That's my belief. But we have John here who swore on his life that 95% of Nigerian men will not marry divorced women. So I hand over officially to John. So now John, they present from now on. Me, I go day here. They drink my water. How far, John?
Fine, thank you. How about
you?
Yeah. First and foremost, I need to make a disclaimer. My statement doesn't in any way degrade single mothers. It does. I don't in any way. I have them as friends. I have them as friends. I have them as people I do business with. But marrying them is one thing that I know personally that I will never, ever do.
Why?
And I believe that 75% of men share the same view as I do. But they just don't want to get into the emotions of women by saying it. Because if it's not so, why is 75% of single mothers not yet married? And this is facts.
There are times that others.
And I can actually tell you that the difference. 70% of women will not allow their brothers marry a single mother.
Oh wow.
The first thing they'll ask that brother when he comes home with a single mother, say, is there no other person?
I'm not sure.
This is my take about single mothers. First and foremost, me personally would not want to raise another man's kids. Culturally, it's not permitted in my culture. In the Igbo tradition, it's actually a taboo to raise another man's kids while the man is still alive. And also, we have other reasons why you wouldn't want to do that. Secondly, a single mother will always be attached to her kids. A single mother will always be attached to her kids. Her kids will always be priority over you. Her kids will always be priority over you. And the difference is, you really give men like you kudos. You fall within that bracket of that 5%. But me, it's impossible. And anybody that's saying that it's a lie, no, if it's about Igbo culture and tradition, nobody should argue with me because I'm a custodian of.
I agree. You see, listen, yeah. The fact that the tradition is like that does not make the tradition right. Let me tell you one thing about tradition. Hold on. Let me tell you one thing I know about tradition. You know, I study sociology. Hold on. Let me just add one thing. Tradition, now one person start them. One day, 200 years, 500 years, 310 years ago, somebody had a scenario and they said that from now on, we are not going to allow this to happen, or we are going to start allowing this to happen. That's so culture they begin. Human beings are born neutral. Over the years, some people say, so that women no go flirt, we go begin to circumcise them. That's why Benin people, they circumcise. Yoruba people, they circumcise. Some northern states, they circumcise. But there are some people like thief people, don't circumcise their women. And we're all Africans. So, okay, continue. Let me not cut you. Continue.
I'm not going to come and change what my ancestors left for me. And let me just try and educate the people on this comment section, because I'm sure that most of them are Igbos, but they don't know what Igbo culture says. In Igbo culture, if a man impregnates a girl and he has not paid her dowry, that child does not belong to the man, it belongs to the girl's parents.
I'm aware of that.
The man has no claims over that child. However, if you have paid the dowry and the girl now has a child for you, and at some point you guys say you don't want again, this is what's going to happen. You're going to come and demand that dowry back. Or the girl's parents will come and return the dowry to you. Now, in the process of returning that dowry, there's one prerequisite, and it is a prerequisite that is a must. Every product of that marriage must be returned back to the father before any father will collect that dowry from you. And now, if it is so, that means, and the girl is forbidden in Igbo culture to marry with another man's dowry hanging on her head. So that means if the girl decides to stay with the kids, she cannot get married. Now, a lot of people in Igbo land end up allowing the girl to take care of the child. But this is how it's done. You return the child first to the father while you're returning the dowry. The father will now say, okay, I don't have the capacity to take care of these kids now. Let them be with you for the meantime. That's how it's done. That is Igbo culture and tradition. Anybody that wants to argue can argue with his gods. So basically, I personally wouldn't want to date a single mother. One, these are my reasons. One, first and foremost, I wouldn't stand another man's child in my house.
Why?
That's just me. I wouldn't stand another man's child in my house.
Why?
Secondly,
why? Sorry. I'm sorry to cut you. Why won't you stand another man's child in your house?
Because this man is alive somewhere, right?
Now, let me break this down to you. It's not another man's child. It's another man and your woman's child. The
Yes.
child is only half the man's. You see, we need to go away from the notion of our ancestors that said children belong to men. Children actually belong to the couple. The court system does not. I'll give you an example. The court system does not recognize that a man owns children in Nigeria today. That is why most Igbo men don't like going to court. Because if they go to court, if they don't go to court, traditionally, once you divorce them, you have to give them back their children.
Every culture in the world that is free recognizes that the man wants children.
No. No.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Once a man's name is in the birth certificate,
Mm-hmm.
even in the US, Canada, UK,
Mm-hmm.
the child will bear the man's last name. One.
Yes.
And the man is mandated to pay child support. You pay for what you own.
Now, if the woman, child support is determined by the income of the parent. If the woman is the one who is richer or has a better paying job than the man, she will be the one to pay child support in the civilized, in the Western world. I just saw one today. There was one somebody sent to me today. The woman lost her job and started working in a lower job, and the judge mandated her to still pay the right amount of child support.
Yeah, but what determines the name the child is? The child's last name, the father.
The father determines the child's last name.
Yes.
Abroad people, please put mouth. I don't know what happens across the world. So she has her father's last name, or he has his father's last name. It's a name. That doesn't mean I don't know how to put it. The fact that you answer somebody's name.
For instance, let's assume I marry a single mother now.
Mm-hmm.
It comes into my home with her children.
Yeah.
I invest my emotion, my finances, and my time on those kids. If by cosmic accident, 2 years down the line, now get divorced, I have lost more in that marriage. In the sense that I invested my money, time, and emotion on children I don't have legal claims over.
Let me tell you my own story. I have two kids, a 21-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. When their mother and I divorced, she took them and ran away, no forwarding address. She has not let me see my kids in about 7 years now. So this thing you are talking about, I'm going through it with my biological children. So I don't...
Do you know the difference between that and this?
There's no difference.
Mm-hmm. You get to a point someday and they'll tell her, Madam, I want to see my father.
Okay, I'm enjoying the conversation.
Madam, I want to see my father. You get? Now,
Mm-hmm.
the father of those children will be busy in one club drinking Hennessy 450, and I will be paying their school fees, right?
Like,
it doesn't make sense to me. The father of the children will be somewhere grooving his life, and I'll be paying their school fees. And tomorrow, the children can wake up and say, well, this is my biological. I want to find my biological father. Me, I'll be here on a bed and go home empty-handed. Secondly, let's say I want to write a will. Eventually, I get married to a single mother who came into the marriage in America, and she now has a Tunde for me. So if I want to write a will, I'll write the will for Tunde and Emeka. That means, let's say I have two houses to share. I'll give Tunde one and give Emeka one. Emeka is my biological son. Tunde is not my biological son. Tunde is my biological son. Emeka is not my biological son. Huh?
mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, Emeka's father now realizes himself and realizes that this boy is my biological son. And now includes Emeka in his own will. So someone that is not my son is getting half of my wealth. I'm getting half from his own biological father, and my son is just getting half from one person. If my father does that to me, I won't forgive him. If my papa do me that, I don't forgive him. And also, you have an ex to contend with. You don't know the state of mind of the person's ex. And that ex, if it's someone who really wants to be in the life of his child, will always be in the life of his child. So
let me tell you something. Hold on, let me tell you something here. I've seen really bad exes. And I've seen really good exes. I have seen exes where the woman's ex and her husband became best friends. I've seen exes where the woman's ex and her new husband started a business together. I know a situation like that. One, they are friends. As in, you will go to their house, they will be there drinking together. They are either somewhere. You will not know that they've married to the point where the woman actually made an issue out of it because she now feels insecure because her two exes are now best friends.
They use that woman just outside.
Yes. Then there is one that, okay, this is my ex. He has this idea. This is my husband. He has this money. And the two of them started off, okay, I don't know you from anywhere, but I trust that because you are my wife's child's father, you will not run it. And they started the business and the business is successful. And the business starts to grow and they become business partners. You understand? So I've seen the one where the ex na Olori Buruku were mad lunatic. Where they fight the woman, they drag her property. They drag yogurt factory. I don't see that kind Olori Buruku ex. Mad person. We suppose they psychia, where they're supposed to lock with key. They waka for road, they cause trouble. And I don't see ex we get sense. We realize, say, okay, me and this woman, there's no divorce that is easy, especially in Nigeria. Una go fight. But at the end of the day, when you start thinking of the fact that this woman I'm divorcing is my son's mother, so that because let me tell you, there are things I hold against my father till today because of what he did to my mother. There are things I hold against my grandmother. I said this to my mother on Sunday. I said, do you know that when my grandmother died, I did not call my father to say sorry? My father still holds it against me till today. Because of the way my grandmother treated my mother. She was, God forgive me, God rest her soul, she was not nice to my mother in any way. And she was also not nice to me. She can't buy. I won't tell person sorry. I'll not be hypocrite for my life. I was much younger, more immature. Maybe now I've managed to do the hypocrisy. But I didn't go and visit my dad. Because why am I coming to visit you for someone that tormented my mother's life and my life? So a man that is wise would understand that whatever I do to my son's mother, my children are very attached to their mothers. Whatever you do, so whatever my father or my grandmother did to my mother, they had me to contend with, whether you like it or not. So a wise man is going to know that, okay, this woman is no longer my wife. We did not work out. It's not a crime, it's not a sin. But I must manage her because she is my son's mother. It does not mean I must take her BS. It does not mean I must suck up to her. If she gives me crap, I have to give it back to her. If I'm not going to talk to her or my son for 5 years to set a standard, I would so be it. But I will not destroy her because of my son. Because whether you like it or not, my son holds her in high esteem. So if more men thought like that, they will make the divorce process easy. Maybe for the first 2-3 years, una go vex for. After a while, una go calm down. Una go start.
That phrase.
Yes.
That phrase. Okafor's law is a constant law in life. Okafor's law is a constant law in life. Once there is mutual understanding between a fucker and a fucky, that fuck will still happen.
Hey, coded word, Instagram, no let us
Oh,
enter
sorry,
problem.
sorry,
Uh-huh.
sorry. Once there's mutual understanding between the Naka and the Naki, that Nak will still happen.
Uh-huh. That's better put.
You understand? So let's stop trying to micromanage this thing. Me personally, and I am saying,
And I respect your choice. I respect your choice.
Of the women on this comment section are single mothers. Why is it? Why? I really don't care. I really don't care.
No, John, listen. I respect your choice. These are your boundaries. This you will not do. But I'm telling you, just in case you are 40 and you happen to be divorced, because you can meet a woman who is single now, but trust me, by the time you are 40, I will never advise you to marry a single 20-year-old or a child, because you know if you cope.
I'll do 20, I'll do 25.
You know if you cope at 40, you know if you cope, they go run you mad.
No fit.
So the women that are more in your age consideration will most likely either be divorcees, widows, or they have kids.
Daddy Freeze, I can even squeeze myself to pass for a widow because the father of those children is no longer alive. First and foremost, I'll adopt those children as my children. The deal. But you see, any woman whom her husband is still alive and the father of her kids is still alive is a no for me. Even if you dash me with 10 billion, with 100 million, I don't take. And it's my choice. It's my choice. It doesn't mean I don't think they are bad people. No, I don't think they are bad people. I just feel that the baggage that comes with them is a lot for me to bear.
Which I respect and understand.
One. When you want to correct those kids, you try to correct them with caution so that she doesn't feel bad. But when you spend money, she doesn't want you to spend with caution.
You see, it all depends on the woman. A good woman is a good woman whether she has children or not. A bad woman is a bad woman even if she's a virgin.
Daddy Freeze, we are talking about percentage. And the people that are saying...
I agree with you on percentage. Most...
I'm asking, out of all the celebrities that are single mothers, how many of them have married?
Most celebrities have issues. Hold on. Most celebrities have issues. No be say because they be mothers. Most average Nigerian celebrities have personal problems. Female, in my opinion. Most of them, I'm not a judge. I'm not marriageable material. I cannot marry a female celeb in this Nigeria. I want my woman to be a bit more reserved. That's my choice and that's my personal choice. So this has nothing to do with them being single mothers or not. I know
that in our society, I know a lot of single mothers. I know a whole lot of them. I know a whole lot of, even the ones that try to hide those children, that take the children to their parents to keep. Once the guy asks questions and realizes that she is married, she has kids. It's a no. It's not. It's a no. And the difference, the earlier we start telling them the truth, the better marriages will start building. Because a lot of women leave their husband's house because they are falling out of love with me. He's pregnant, they sweet me again, they don't come out. And they're going out because some people give them the impression that there are men out there that are ready to deal.
No. Most women are leaving marriages and they just want to leave they just want to leave toxicity. They just want to leave a toxic place.
No. You can't tell me that every marriage, every divorce is due to a toxic marriage. No, it's not true. It's not true. I don't believe that. I've been to court. I've seen court proceedings. I've seen people just say that I have fallen out of love with him. That's a toxic marriage. You have to leave. Nobody say that you stay in a toxic marriage. But what I'm saying is, for me personally, I need them to understand that these people that are telling them, most of the men that are telling them, don't worry, most of them are married to women that don't have kids. Maybe with you, people like you as a very few exception. And most of them just want to knock. Most of them just want to knock. And once they knock, they don't go. They're not telling you guys the truth. They're not telling them the truth. A lot of men will not deal because, see, there is something about raising a child. You want to raise a child that is yours. That is why you see people even wouldn't want. A lot of men will even be skeptical about adopting children. A lot of men will be skeptical about adopting children. So I don't really. There's no words to mice here. I can go on and tell you the disadvantages of. I just did a couple of them out there. Some of them even use their children as a blackmail. No, you're treating me like this because I came in the married with children. See, there are lots and lots of reasons why I can't even deal. It's not possible. I go there house like this as I suffer, finish, come back house. Another man children go to run around my house. Why? Because I don't get children. No, it's not possible. It can't happen. And I'm not disrespecting single mothers for any reason. They are nice. Some of them are nice. Some of them are lovely. But the earlier they realize that it's a no for African men, the better for them. And just try to work on themselves and then think of how to raise their children on their own. And a lot of them, that if it's 80% of single mothers marry because of financial benefits. They also want to help them raise their children. They don't love you. 80% of them don't love you. They want help. They need help. That's the only reason why they marry. That is why you see the celebrities that are successful don't even think of remarrying. The celebrities that are successful don't even think of remarrying. Association of single mothers, look at no beg, so don't insult me. If you insult me, I'll insult you back.
You don't buy their market.
I'll insult you back. And let me tell you people, my own kind of insult is I'll start with grandparents, I'll extreme them from their grave, insult them, then come to you. I don't have that tolerance. I didn't insult you people, so please let me be. So, but the phrase, it's the truth. It's the truth. They come with a lot of baggage. That's true. That the phrase, you're very lucky. Your own work, you are very, very lucky. You are very, very lucky. And that your luck cannot shine on everybody. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen.
John, are you a single father?
I have a son, yes.
Then the matter tie rapao.
I have a son.
If you are a single father,
yes,
and listen.
But will you call me a single father?
Are you married? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Are you married?
Yes, I'm married. I'm still married.
Oh, okay. You are married and you have a son.
I have a son, yes.
Oh, okay. It's not like you had a son out of wedlock.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh. Sorry then. Because somebody said you are a single father. So then you are not a single father. You are a father. You are a...
If the person return my bride price, may tell me if I can return that bride price. It will help me.
So guys, John did not say anything out of... He shared his opinion. I need us to learn to respect people's opinions. The fact that we don't agree with his opinion, some agree, some don't agree, some agree half and half, does not mean we don't respect his opinion. He is saying something that a lot of Nigerian men consider. Maybe it will be a good thing for more women to live up to the responsibility of showing our Nigerian men that, look, the fact that I have a child or children does not make me a bad choice. I'm a good woman. I'll take care of you. I will manage my ex. I will make sure. Let me tell you, most men are egoistic and they don't want exes in the picture. I understand. Totally. But you see, if the ex chooses to have sense, you will calm down a little. If the ex chooses to be a total koala bear, you know how stupid koala bears are?
Yeah, I learned it on your life.
As in, koala bears are so stupid. They eat eucalyptus leaves. If you put a koala bear in a room full of eucalyptus leaves, as long as the eucalyptus leaves are not on the tree, they will not recognize it as food because it's on the floor, and they will starve. So when the ex decides that he wants to be a koala bear, then you also have to put up your guard and fighting fire for fire. As they bring the fire, you go they give them. If he give you one, you will give them two.
Why do you want to live without fight when you can avoid?
Baba, let me tell you something. There's always fight. Let me tell you something here. I would rather marry a woman who has an ex problem than marry a firstborn daughter who has 8 younger siblings that you have to send to school. That is a big problem.
Okay.
I would rather listen to me. Hold on. Let me give you my. I see it as a problem.
Because my elder sister is the firstborn. We are 6. Her husband did not send any of us to school
because your father tried. Do you know that your situation too? Just as you said, I'm lucky. I'm also going to throw back that to you. You are also lucky. The average situation in Nigeria is parents give birth to kids they can't raise, and then they hand over the responsibility to the firstborn, who now runs like they are going to buy just to raise their parents' children. I would rather marry a single mother with 3 children or 4 children than marry a firstborn virgin that has 8 siblings and poor old parents to train. That to me is a problem.
You don't know why that one is better.
Why?
Because those siblings, even if you raise those siblings, they will forever remain loyal to you.
I doubt too. I've seen siblings.
You see my elder brother, my elder sister husband he didn't raise me. But for the fact that it was in his house, when I finished school, I relocated to Port Harcourt, stayed in his house before I got a job. He is an icon to me. Yet, if I buy house, I go carry go to school, give up. Chairman, take. Understand? There is nothing he does that will get me upset.
Okay, can I bring 2 people, 2 ladies, and we're going to round this conversation off.
Just insult me.
No, anybody that insults you, I'm removing them. Nobody's allowed to insult anybody, and nobody's allowed to use bad words. Share your opinions. I want to bring 2 ladies, and I'll be glad if these ladies have children. Share your thoughts, or if you are a man who is married to a single mother, you can come and share your thoughts. Just type in the comment section. I will bring you up. So I've got Abby here. Abby, remember to keep this very respectful. Okay, Abby, go ahead. All right, Abby, go ahead. So we have Abby and Ebieri. Abby, you are not talking.
My brother's been blinding since. I'm not going to insult you, don't worry. I only insult people in the comments. In real life, I'm very, very comfort. I comfort myself. First and foremost, your ideology, your belief is super like 1700. It's so backward. I'm not trying to insult you, and I really don't want to say anything out of order. But your best is not determined by a woman's number of children. You literally can be limiting yourself with your belief that a woman wants financial stuff. She just wants money. I don't need anybody.
Madam, first and foremost, are you a single mother?
I am a very single mother.
Are you remarried?
And I do not need nobody's money.
Are you remarried?
I'm not married.
Then we can't have a conversation.
Why can't we have a conversation?
Because you're not married. Because men
I was married before. You said you don't want to be insulted, so you better treat me like you don't want to be insulted. Now, you're not insult. No, you can't have a conversation with me because I've been married.
Excuse me, madam. You came in here and you said that I'm thinking like I'm backwards.
It is backward. That's not an insult. That's
it. But you've been. I'm sure you've. Excuse me. I'm sure you've been single for more than 10 years.
Can I
you're not married.
How long did you say I've been single for?
I'm sure
you know me so well.
So
Sorry, mom. I'm so sorry. I feel like I had hijacked this conversation. No, but really,
But
you're limiting yourself.
no, excuse
You're limiting whoever you're teaching
Excuse me,
because
madam.
you say you're already married. You're limiting whoever you're teaching that they cannot marry certain women. Some people will find their happiness.
Madam, I have a question.
Are you sure you
So,
want it?
Okay.
it was easy for single mothers to get married. Why are you not married?
Because I am not ready to get married.
You are not ready to get married.
I am not ready. No, I'm not ready.
Auntie.
Why should I marry now? Why must I marry now? I will marry when I want to.
Well, when did you get divorced?
That's none of your business, though. That's none of your business, though. No, it's none of your business. We're like, look, the timeline has nothing to do with anything. It's completely immaterial. It is opinion. I understand it is opinion. And I have my own opinion too. And the truth is, even when I was single, when I was younger, something I'm saying is, I never judged single mothers. I have always known people who were single mothers. And guess what? Most of them, their children today, these are people I probably work with, right? Their children did better than a lot of women who suffered in marriages.
Mother, big lie. Big lie. Big lie. Big lie. Go and check it. Listen. Hello. I'm still intelligent.
Look at the speakers here.
80% of young men that end up in prison are raised by single mothers.
Can I say something here?
80% of young men that go to prison are raised by single mothers. Don't tell me that they are way successful. I do prison.
I want to be diplomatic, right?
I want the lady to talk.
In a way, John here asked, although I didn't start the conversation when I joined, the little things that I overheard,
There is noise somewhere.
is actually
Ebiere, mute your mic. Ebiere, mute your mic.
Sorry, let me mute.
Mute your mic.
okay.
All right.
So from the little things that I've heard John saying, actually, in a way, I think it's kind of saying the truth because, okay, I was looking at the comment section and some people were like, no, this guy is this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, just this is what I'm going to say here. The same way we have men that cannot deal with single mothers, we also have ladies or women that cannot deal with single men, that cannot deal with single fathers. Well, I'll say I, for one person, I used to have this mentality that I cannot deal with. Yeah, I used to remember like some 3-4 years back when a guy approaches me and I find out he's a single father. I'll tell you, I cannot date you because I cannot deal. I have my personal reasons, and the reasons could be sometimes I just feel there's usually this exes drama and all of these things, and I just feel like I cannot deal. It's just my personal. It's not like it's not like I see them as irresponsible or something. I don't have anything against single fathers. I don't have anything against single mothers. But I just feel like it's just personal reasons. I just feel like I cannot deal. Like I can't deal with single. I can't deal with exes drama. I can't deal with trying to train somebody else. You understand? So it's just for me. So I just feel people coming, batching in the comment section, saying trash. I just want to clear the air that.
Hold on, my sister.
Right, okay.
My sister. I said this from the beginning that everybody's entitled to their choices.
Exactly.
And John is entitled to his choice. I made that specifically clear. This was more so a conversation about my choice, your choice. What do you think? This is not a conversation. Anybody putting anybody down in the comment section. The comment section is not moderated. Any idiot can come into the comment section and type whatever dumbness they want to type. You understand? We are trying to see from each other's perspectives. Why will you not do this because of this? Why will I do it because of this? That's more so what it is. I'm going to tell you a story now. I'm going to tell you a story. A very close friend of mine from Ibadan, Taste Buds knows the guy. Met this lovely lady. Comes from a good home, but has a child. Single mother. He said, lie, oh, he cannot marry her, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people were telling him not to. Then last minute, he changed his mind. He said, you know what? I think I'm going to give this relationship a try. And they got married. 6 months into the marriage, one of his ex-girlfriends located him and brought a 12-year-old daughter that he had when he was in Ibadan, that he did not know he had. So all the while he was walking around believing he was a single guy. Meanwhile, he was a single father. He did not know. He lost, like, you sleep with a girl for a while and then you lose contact with the girl, and there were no mobile phones those days.
Okay.
So before you know it, in don't get Pekin. Now it's tit for tat. He accepted the woman with her child. The woman with her open arms accepted him too with his child. So when you see situations like this, sometimes some men as fathers, they don't know they are fathers. This doesn't happen to women, because if you born Pekin, go no say you carry the Pekin for your belly, go worry you. But a man, do you know how many girls that we've been with and condom tear and everybody move on? Oh, Abby left. Wow. So sorry about that. Okay, so let me bring in one more person. This time I'm bringing in two more people. Peter Ebojele and a lady called Ada Ebere. Or do you have anything else you want to say?
Yes.
Okay, go
I
on.
have so much to say, but I'm going to try to summarize this.
Okay.
Okay, so I know I came in with a lot of force, but that's because obviously I'm passionate about this subject. Well, the thing is, what?
I'm also passionate about this subject.
Right. Okay, good. Now, the thing is, I personally just think that limiting your views to, like, when it comes to people in general, is just so damaging. Like, different things happen. Women have children for a reason. They choose not to have abortions. I'm one of those people who cannot. I'm not one of those, like, I will not. And women have gone through different things. Now, castigating them or saying that, oh, they can't get married again, or they should, they literally are like, go work on yourself and be single forever, because you said so. You said work on yourselves.
I'm still alive. You can't say what I said. They say they can't get married.
You said so, though. You said that women, we should go work on ourselves and just stay by ourselves and raise our kids by ourselves.
95% Nigerian men will not marry a single mother, me inclusive. I did not in any conversation say that single mothers are bad. I did not in any part of this conversation say that they will not get married again.
Please, all of you 1,000 people watching the live, come and buy stars on Facebook.
What I'm going to say to everybody who's listening, and that is, do not limit yourself by that kind of a mentality. There are lots of beautiful, lovely, amazing single mothers who have likely, excuse me, let me just finish, please, who have likely learned their lessons from before, and trust me, they're probably going to be much better women.
Please, if you are watching on TikTok, send me gift cards. I appreciate your gifts on TikTok. I have 150 people watching me on TikTok. Send your gifts. I appreciate you guys.
Don't limit yourself. You may be finding one of the best women ever who has learned from her mistakes. Just trust me on that. I don't talk my own. Everybody with their own opinion.
All right, Ebere, let me replace you so that we begin to end. Thank you so much, Ebere. Peter Ebojele,
Mr. John.
I'm waiting for you, and then Real Ada, that's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did the background since they listen. Yeah. I like the fact that you marshal your point out very well. Personally, for me, I'm not married Nigerian. One of the reasons why I'm not married Nigerian, I not like our tradition. We do get many tradition where to me, enter. Why? They say we as human beings, now our mates make those laws then.
The one way to follow now, who make them? God.
Most of the laws of our village, now our mates make the law.
Laws.
So I don't see why. I don't see why.
You go law way
Do where they come now, they go somewhere, let me land. I don't see why I'll go limit myself to waiting my mate make when it did my age. Me go come there and not come get my own sense to take reason my own. Say, okay, let's do it like this.
Yeah.
Now the quarter we may get with tradition with that personally. Because in life, people are different. Just as our faces are different, that's how our actions are different. So some people don't deal with BC, they don't marry person, we don't get children before. They discover that the woman's love is for the children and not for them. And a man who cannot tolerate such things will run into trouble marrying a woman that already has children. Then another case again is, like you now, you say you respect your in-law because say you stay in house when you define job. That is how some people, guys, when their stepfather raised, that's how they are loyal to him till death.
It's not true.
I'll give you an example. Former Bayelsa governor, Ala Messia raised his wife's firstborn as his own. From what I heard, late Governor Ala Messia raised his wife's firstborn as his first son. This was a powerful governor, and this boy was the one, from the story I heard, I may be wrong, I heard though, who was the one managing the man's affairs. He was the person you will meet before you meet the man.
Okay. Now,
And when his real father.
That phrase, let can now blow your mind.
Okay.
Late General Sani Abacha raised his wife for son.
Okay, sorry, it was General Sani Abacha, not Ala Messia. It was General Sani Abacha. Thank you for correcting me.
But he killed him in a plane crash. Okay, Abacha killed him for plane crash.
That is Abacha. Sometimes
Someone said my girlfriend doesn't joke with her stepfather.
Sometimes there are laws that we live by based on other people's opinion, based on other people's experiences, and it's not the same everywhere. There are people, see, I don't see man where they say none of the children they respect them, none of the children remember them. Your own children, though.
There are plenty.
They don't come. See, we don't see cases of people who say they help their neighbor begin, and their neighbor begin remember them when they're old. So this thing varies. It's not there's no hard and fast rule to it. I agree that in many villages, the people discourage people from getting married to a woman that has a child before or a divorcee. However, what they don't realize is that everybody's situation is not the same. Some of these people who don't born before, and they even who get sense past who never born before, they behave. Who don't born before believe say, oh, there's you need to humble, you need to loyal. What we should focus on is getting married to a reasonable person.
Bro, I
the person fast.
Bro, I agree with you. But when they talk this song, 1 out of 1 million na song. 2 out of song. I don't like to start gambling with that low percentage.
So are you not trying to say that a high percentage of people when they say they are well behaved is because they never born before?
No, I'm not talking about the behavior of the woman. I have not.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm going down to the children now. Are you saying that children that are well behaved, that children who have their father married to their mother, is that your point?
I'm not talking about the behavior of the woman. I'm talking about your state of mind as a man who have to deal with another man's children.
See, it takes a selfish man. It takes a selfish man to have a bad state of mind because he raised another person again. It's selfishness. It's not selfishness. No, not cross. Not selfishness. Not that one define. Not selfishness.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
To marry you. Let's say I am divorced and you come marry my wife. God don't say picking why I get to go follow a woman go another man's house. But let's assume by cosmic accident take the kid, follow my wife, go your house. I am go Loyola just switch. They pay 1 point something million. Every day you see me, they drive Ferrari for Abuja, they drive around Abuja with Ferrari. They're not going to pay you for money. Why they talk like this?
See, let me tell you, bro. See, in this life we live, let me tell you, even people who you not born, you get guys who you will know, they don't already be like 30. Once you show them love, they feel collect bullet for you. When your children don't feel collect,
it doesn't happen.
It's all about loyalty. Once you are a good stepfather, my brother, it takes a winch, and a winch. Now winch, now will reject you. Once you are a good stepfather who is on point, your stepchildren must like you.
It doesn't happen all the time.
It happens. No, it happens. It happens. Okay, you want to agree with me now? You want me to agree with you? Yeah, no, that's bad.
That's the truth. You guys stop deceiving them. You not a man, you not a matured man. I don't say it's still a one young boy they talk this. I say one later he make it enter the collect numbers to break. Add to their fleet of children. Most times they get deceived and fall into the hands of the people that will come and tell them what they want to hear. And at the end of the day, the person will just add another one to the fleet. I'm going away.
No, see, who did they feel deceive and a person will be say they not show love. If you show the person love, nobody feel deceive am. See, everybody can recognize love. Every human being recognize love. If you dey help me, they insult me, join a man, person will turn my mind against you. But if you dey help me from your mind, Baba, no level. When you raise children well, you show them love.
All right, we have another lady here. Let's allow this lady to talk. We get one lady here. Lady, please show your face. Or make we come out and put...
Oh, no, don't remove me, Daddy Freeze. You know, I've been here before. I'm still at work, so I can't really put my video on.
Oh, I'm so sorry because it makes the video look bad. It makes the video look one kind. I don't entertain people. Yeah, I don't like bringing people who cannot show their... See, John, carrying chest, come here, come talk something. Then you won't come hide behind filter, talk your reply. It no go work.
No.
So I'm so sorry.
John, to be honest, I just wanted to give a simple opinion.
You know what? I'll bring you on another day.
John is coming from.
Sorry, I'll bring you on another day. I like anybody who talks to show their face. You understand? Anybody will get mind to talk, make it at least show face. You understand what I tell you? So sorry, I may be wrong, but that's my perception.
There was a day I hear some women they talk, some single girls that they talk. One can say person one marry him, but the man get picking before. The other one can say which kind picking get boy or girl. He come to say na boy. The other guy come advise and say no marry him. Now do you know I broke into the discussion. I say why? He said because the man already get son before. Now I say, listen, you never marry person, you don't look when the person died who are hearing property. That's a wrong belief system. You see, a lot of times we need to knock off some belief system. No, wrong belief system. Wrong belief system. Person never marry, they talk of when they don't die. Who are carry property.
Yes, I stop lights for you. I saw my ghost. If anybody mismanaged within this summer life, my ghost will leave out.
Baba, who don't die, don't go. No go. See, Baba, who don't go. If whether you die, leave, they go. See, bros, we don't see people when they worship their motor. The day when they die, when they die, they drive on no level. Who don't go, don't go. It goes not enough to do anything. If you go and do something, go.
I don't believe it.
No, Baba, who don't go. I don't agree with you. Now you don't think so. Who don't go. Go stop it, do nothing.
Hello.
I want my.
All right, we have Yemisi here. Let's hear from her. All right, Yemisi, you are our final caller, and we're ending this in 5 minutes. So let's hear.
Thank you so very much, and this gladdens my heart. You see, let me give you a brief explanation, and you would know where I'm coming from. My name is Yemi, and I am a legal practitioner in Nigeria. I got divorced because due to domestic violence, and I have 2 beautiful kids. You see, let me tell you something. You people are not looking at the perspective that women are not going to live abusive marriage and die in abusive marriage because you are projecting the fact that no man is out there to accept them. I need you to know that perspective. And Mr. John, you see, you don't want anybody to disrespect you, but you were talking and your languages are upsetting. I will say that to you. Look, how? Mr. John, you don't know what you have said, but we all listen to you.
Give me an
But
example.
you said so many things, but let me not just go there. But Daddy Freeze, I need you to look at this from this legal perspective. Look, I have done so many divorces in my life, and I never thought that I would ever get divorced. Look, Daddy Freeze, I need to tell my story, and I don't mind. Look, I literally stayed in my marriage and say that, okay, I don't want people to think that because you are a lawyer, you can do this, you can do that. I suffered, I labored. I labored for this marriage to work. I literally turned myself to slave. Because all in the name that, because our society is biased, our culture is biased against the women, returning back to their father's home. Being a single mother is not a disease. Do you know what that is? Do you know why I requested to join? A friend of mine this night, she goes by the Instagram and Obizi. She asked me this night, she said, Yemi, who are you seeing? Who are you dating? And I'm like, babe, what's up now? Topic, don't finish. Why are you bringing that up? And she was like, you need to open your mind. You are lovely. You are kind. You are this. You are that. See, it's people like you I don't want to meet Mr. John in my life. I deserve love. I deserve respect. I deserve good things. And you know what? You see, your ideas are myopic. Your ideas are myopic and biased.
Don't insult him, please. Don't insult him.
But it is what it is. You see something. Look, just listen. Let me just talk. Let me just say something.
No, listen. No, you listen.
No woman wants to mother.
Madam,
No, I'm not gonna listen. You are acting not. You're supposed to go over an hour. Let me just get my mind. No woman wants to do this. No woman wants to be a single mother. Look, I am paying emotionally, financially, I'm supporting them. I have beautiful kids. I am hardworking. I am not going to go into any relationship.
for your marriage. Don't carry your race, good woman.
Let me see.
Let me go.
Madam,
I'm not going to another relationship because of another man's money. It takes a matured man. It takes a more matured man to marry a single mother, not people like you.
Madam, don't believe throwing you from house to two kids.
Hold on, just hold on. Let John
Nobody throw me away from her. I simply walked out of a toxic marriage, an abusive marriage. I walked out of it and I'm proud I did it. For over 5 years, I was unable to do it because of people like you that will project fears into me that I can't do it. I did it 5 years counting. I am still supporting these two kids. They are school. I support them emotionally. I feed them. I am doing fine in my career. I don't need your money.
You never see a man.
Just try to hold on first.
I choose not to because of people like you. I choose not to. I am supporting my children. I am standing strong with them. I have seen people ask me out. I have seen people every day of my life. People, if you see my stature, if I don't tell you that I am a single mother of 2 kids, you will not believe me. I am as sweet as any good woman out there. But because of people like you, I don't want to be like 5% of Nigerian men. Deal with it.
Wait, see, look at this whole point. Let me see, hold on a little bit. Let me give you an advice. You see, a lot of times we need to understand that away from money or whatever, every man needs a woman. Every woman needs a man. However, we must not allow one man's mistake to make us rule out every man. You see, Mr. John don't talk since I came on board to say my mind. Just to tell and say, see, one of the reasons why I don't like most of our traditions is that our mates when make the law don't die go. Now waiting function for their time they make. So we are supposed to come to this life and look at situations and make our own laws in areas where we don't like what they made. I agree with you, and I agree with John that 80% of men don't want to marry a woman that has a child. That is the truth. But many of those 80%, like 50%, not because of tradition. Some don't even know why. Some don't know why. They just obey.
Sacrifice said something that times have changed and people don't want to accept that.
Exactly.
Let me tell you guys a story.
Wait, John, before you say this story, people come to my Facebook and come and buy stars. Big shout out to Gbemi Sola and Jame. Thank you, Gbemi Sola. Please make people even come. We don't dare here, Tete. Go to Facebook, search for Daddy Freeze. Click on today's video. Now the video be this. Click on the video, drop below and buy stars. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Janet don't buy another stars. Very good. Gbemi Sola. Hey, Gbemi Sola, thank you so much. Gbemi Sola, thank you so much. Oh yeah, the rest of you come and buy star. They hear you, John, as we are signing off now.
When I went to NY, when I went for NYC, you get this girl who I meet for camp. I liked the girl. I liked her so much. But after camp, we were posted to 2 different places. We lost communication. I tried to make things work. She was interested in work. And fast forward, after I graduated, I got a job. She got a job, so in Kanu, and she got pregnant for some guy, had a child for some guy. And then she can't remember that guy we missed for camp. I laughed. I said, this one. And now you remember me. Okay, come now. Come. The truth is that in situations like that, men will always take advantage of them. Because they know their emotions. Okay. I do. That's the way not give me there, you give me now, no problem. But I would marry her. Nothing could make me marry her. I liked her so much while we were in camp. During my 1 year of NYC, I liked her so much. I traveled 3 hours to go see her. But the fact says she born begin over my dead body, my ancestors for
you see, that is the point. And at that point, we be the point where they bring problem. Although everybody, we all have our own way of thinking. We have our mindset. For me, what I look at in life is, am I compatible with this person? I can't see. Listen, bros.
And the most fundamental thing.
For me, compatibility is the thing. Because children, you can make children love you by your doings. Now your doings go make children like you.
Peter and John, let me check this thing. See, children will always remember. Children have this magnet. I knew what my grandfather did for what was. He had a great part of my life. He raised me literally because I lived with my grandparents. See, children will always remember who was there for them, who literally raised them. Children will always remember. See, John, I don't know who raised you. I don't know the environment you grew up in. I don't know your experiences. But trust me, you are talking like a traumatized person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But no offense. But you are not
it's what I call trauma.
Okay, guys, we end now. It's getting too heated.
Let me tell you something. You know, I pray that every single woman they don't come across a woman like you. That is justice. A woman that will take advantage of their emotions. And a man that will take advantage of their emotions. Children will always remember who did that for them.
All right, guys. John, thank you so much for coming. John, thank you so much for coming. Yemisi, thank you so much for coming.
See, children will go back and look for their father. It doesn't concern me. But my own best interest is to raise good kids.
and not to raise them in toxic environment. That is just it.
If you're talking to me just by the words, because whatever you say to me, I'll give back to you.
All right, guys.
I am for you. Don't, no doubt. Give it to me and I give it to you twice. I am for you. Mr. John, I am for you. See. Let me tell you something.
Single mother.
Daddy Freeze. I have been a good follower. I will not add more. I have followed you and I have respected you so far for your opinions. But, sir, let me add. You see, reasons children are raised in toxic environment is one of these two reasons. And we are not looking at because it is deeper. Would you rather raise children in toxic environment or live a toxic environment and raise them? See, that first, I know you're a Yoruba man. So we pay, must we now bring up these children in toxic and drag them into what is wrong? You see, every majority of these traumatized young men and women out there, they are a product of this toxic home. They are a product of a toxic home. And you know what? Because a woman does not want to become a single mother, you decide to continue to raise your children in toxic environment. And they are already abused and they are traumatized right from childhood. What exactly is it? Be a single mother and raise your children in a healthy home. In healthy environment.
All right, guys. At this point, I just have to say thank you so much. I appreciate you all for coming to my live. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so very much. Big shout out to you, John. Thank you for, you could have been doing anything else, but you decided to be here with us today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that abundantly. Now, thank you so much, Yemisi. I understand and appreciate your pain and what you've been through. Thank you. Thank you. John, salute. Yemisi. Good night. It's getting too hot in here, so let me just end on a smiling note. I understand where John is coming from. Here's my verdict. And I've always respected and appreciated his opinion, especially since he said he who cannot. He is among those who cannot. I also, on the other hand, appreciate Yemisi's pain. It's not easy to be in a toxic marriage. It's not easy to survive a toxic divorce. Trust me. So sometimes people get very passionate because it seems like somebody is rubbing your pain in your face. You need to understand that your pain is your identity. Many people will not understand it. On that bombshell, I say thank you. The conversation continues tomorrow. Please go to Facebook. All of you. Big shout out to Chibuzo Onwokoye. Shout out to you, bro. Newang Derek. Thank you very much. Ben Tested. Thank you so much. Gbemisola, you are the star of today. Thank you so much, Gbemisola. You've done well. You guys, there's still over 1,000 of you watching live on Instagram. Here is how you get stars on Daddy Free Show. Just go to Facebook. It's as simple as that. Click on the search button on the top right hand corner and type Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze is spelled DADDYFREEZE. When you type that, this beautiful picture of mine will show up and you can scroll to today's video. You will see the video right there with me in this red t-shirt. Click on the video and scroll down to the bottom of the video, left hand corner. You will see how to get stars. So just go over there as you're leaving right now. Thank you everyone on TikTok who sent me gifts and gift cards. Please continue sending me your gift cards on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. So I'm waiting. I want to see someone to send 5,000 stars on Facebook. Let me be a bit ambitious so I can greet all of you. Big shout out to my top star buyer for today, and that happens to be Gbemisola Victoria Adebayo. Thank you so much. Followed closely by Chibuzo Unwokoye. And then we have Jane Jari Jane. Thank you so much. Those are my top star buyers. Oh yeah, as you are leaving, run to Facebook. ABRA, thanks for coming. Peter Bojele, thanks for coming. Posh African Braid said, "Yeah, me see my learned colleague. Why people are doing learned colleague? Come and buy my stars." Somebody say I rebuke every John in our lives. Oh, come on, but John tell you the truth. You won't make people they lie to you. Not so in feel and not in mind. Make we respect them. Thank you everyone who watched on on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm still waiting for your stars. I'm waiting for your stars. Oh yeah. Sharp. Go to Facebook now as they go. All of you, make I even hail you as they go. Oh yeah. Someone said bring John back. So as some people they enjoy John, now some people they vex with him. Now so life be. Oh yeah. Oh. Thank you, Peter Ebojele. John spoke his mind. Oh, Aigbe just sent me some stars. Thank you so much, Aigbe. Appreciate you. Thank you, Aigbe. Someone said, I really enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed it too. I really don't want it to end, but I'm exhausted. That whole church noise in the afternoon really was crazy. But to be honest, I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Oh yeah. Come to Facebook, search for Daddy Freeze, scroll to today's video and buy stars. Thank you everyone on TikTok. Thank you. Good night, TikTok. Good night, YouTube. I'm still waiting on Instagram and on